Hey guys, just wanted to take a minute to thank you, the listener, for listening and proving that you have a growth mindset. Our mission is to curate information from top influencers around the world. We provide you with real, actionable steps on how to improve in every and any area of your life, whether you own your own business, you're a C-suite executive, or just starting your journey of self-development. Professional development is all about growth. And you know that if you're not growing, you're dying. If you enjoy this content, please help us by helping others and liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thanks. Hey guys, welcome to the Professional Development Podcast. Today is Wednesday, August 26th, and it is hot as fuck.
It is.
It's warm.
It is hotter than a motherfucker.
It's like a dry heat.
What the fuck? We don't live in Arizona.
A dry
That's
fart?
the most
from a dry heat.
Arizonian thing I've ever heard.
know,
It's a dry heat.
My balls feel like they're
like-
sitting in a pool of sweat.
I think
know.
Dan heard that one, like that phrase
He's
one day
just
years
trying to be
ago, and
cool.
he's just been wanting to say it.
It's not that high. It's a dry heat.
I mean, yeah.
It's so humid.
The
It's
humidity's
not
like
dry at
98%.
all. It's a dry heat.
I don't know.
What's the humidity looking
All
like?
right.
It's
Fuck,
gotta be
I don't know how
80.
to
It's gotta be
explain
85%.
There's no wind. There's nothing.
You
It's
know
just,
nothing
straight up,
about
like,
weather,
like
Dan.
stale air.
Yeah, it's just fucking.
God, Dan knows
it's
nothing
dry,
about the weather.
Stale. See, semantics, motherfucker.
Oh, actually, it's not as humid as it was yesterday. It's only 45%.
Still
It's
pretty
dry.
humid. So
It's a dry heat.
today is episode 51, and it's health versus wealth. But a couple of, I guess just kind of what's going on in your world. You guys got anything going on besides the dry heat?
It is dry heat.
So here, this is something I want to talk about, all right? So
Wow, you're just jumping
Just
right
jump right in.
yeah, a couple of things.
We didn't have anything.
So number one, first and foremost, because this takes precedence over all, OnlyFans porn is back.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Before it even goes
Oh,
away.
really?
It took
It's
a
back?
week.
It took a week. So
Yep.
before it even got the opportunity to take the porn off, like OnlyFans is way back
They backpedaled
in a
quick.
big
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
They had to.
They had
though.
to-
I mean-
well, so there were a couple things where, so I did do more research on this.
I bet you did.
Yeah, I was worried about.
What's going to happen
I
to
don't
my
watch-
subscription?
Oh,
my
my God.
subscriptions.
When Dan says he doesn't watch porn, OnlyFans doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Yeah.
It's a creator
Doesn't-
network.
Doesn't
okay,
count
of
if you
artists.
pay for it.
He's
Yeah.
an entrepreneurship thing.
But so they were trying to get funding, and I think that some investors didn't want to fuck with them because of the nature of their business. But then also financial institutions were like, is this sex work or whatever? We just like dispensaries can't take credit cards right
Yeah,
now
same
because
Trafficking of some
stuff
sort.
like that.
Yeah.
So it is back though.
But then you had other investors that
happened
are like,
very
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah,
This is what I put my money in here for.
Or like fucking snooze fest.
Yeah, I'll double down.
Boring. Yeah. So that obviously is big news, and I wanted to talk about that first. Number two, so I got this groomer called a Meridian groomer, and this is just something like super
this
random.
like a trimmer?
What are you grooming?
So it's a trimmer. It's a trimmer. But
So-
it's
sorry,
is a
is
brand.
this a
every,
trimmer?
all the bodily,
All the hairs.
Yeah, manscaping.
Meridian is a
It's
brand.
manscaping. Yeah.
So is Matt getting paid? Like
Not a
Yeah.
sponsor.
Oh, not a
to
sponsor
drop-
yet.
Not a sponsor yet.
But Meridian, what
Not
I want to
telling
know
us.
is you sent me this spray, and I was just like, I don't know what this is. Maybe you put it on the hair and you treat it before. It's like, no, it's like you give it 2 pumps on your junk. You just like give it a couple sprays and then just
Is it
let
like a
go.
misting?
Have
type
we had a
deal?
review from a chick yet?
It's like it's got all these like green tea leaf extract, witch hazel,
Matt's into
like
herbal
things.
shit.
Well, I
Wait,
don't
do
know.
you have this already?
I don't- yeah,
You've used it.
I haven't given it a spray.
Oh,
Okay.
green tea. Does that stuff makes your hair tingle, right?
I don't know, but I think it's just like basically a cologne for your
Your junk.
your cock and balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say that it's some sort of Nair type scenario where you spray it on there and then your hair just falls off. I was
No.
like, that seems like a dangerous
But I
thing
just
to
didn't
spray on
know.
your
I think
nuts.
it's just like cologne for your
They
shit.
might
And
fall off.
I didn't know.
Well, you need to get a chick over and get a review for it for next week.
If we can
I
get them
think-
as a sponsor, I can make that happen. Yep. So
But if not, you won't do it.
Dave's like, no.
You won't
chicks
do a
over
product
here.
review? There's people that need to know.
yeah. Well, okay. I'll
Dan.
give them people one
Well,
on
okay.
But
Convinced.
last thing, and then
Wake my
I'll
wife
shut up.
with it.
So I start phase 1 a week from today. So and it couldn't come any sooner because I'm sitting there. I'm
That's
hanging
risky business.
over the weekend, and I'm hanging out with this girl, and she's like talking to me about 75 hard and all this other stuff. And I've known her for a while, and she's like, so how long did it take you to get off of 75 hard? I'm like, well, there's no like getting off. Like it's just, when you're done, you're
Yeah.
done, and you hope to retain some of the habits. And she's like, well, yeah, but how long did it take you to like start going back to like what you were looking like? I'm like, well, I don't think I did. I go, wait, Are you saying I'm losing it right now? And she just kind of put her head down, and I was like,
I bet she
damn.
put her head down.
What happened was Matt's picture on these platforms is him shirtless.
Oh, that's right.
And it's good lighting. And so
Filters.
you catfished her.
Yeah.
You are a catfisher.
She was
talk
like, "Where
about
the
all
fuck's
these
the
other
abs at
chicks
now?"
that catfish you. You're the catfish, motherfucker.
I could be. I could be. I mean, I don't think a girl's ever made me feel like more of a piece of shit by just being genuinely curious
Now,
about.
I did not have anywhere near the abs that you have, even though I did let you borrow those whenever we won the championship on Monday nights there at Sandbar. But Shelby even said the same thing to me because I had like a month and a half where I just didn't give a shit and I was eating an ice cream every single night. Like every single night I had ice cream.
Fudge bars.
And whether it was half a pint of Ben & Jerry's or a whole pint, or if I went to Dairy Queen, like, dude, I did ice cream every night. And I said, because I was starting to feel a little bit down on myself too. And I was like, do I look like I've changed a little bit? And she's like, well, I could see your abs before and now I have to look a little bit harder. And I was like, all right, message received. So I've gone on a diet since then. It's easy to like, I mean, it's probably not that big of a difference, but, and maybe you can tell, I don't know.
I can for sure tell. Like my body scans aren't that bad. Like I went from like 6 to like 8%,
Which is athlete
or whatever.
status.
But like I can definitely tell like how I sit, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, I can for sure tell. And so fuck this chick for saying that because that's
I bet you did.
rude. What?
Fuck that chick.
Okay, guys, this is not what we're talking about today. All right.
So if Rich was here,
believe
he would splice this perfectly. But our man, the Iceman, Paul Wall, is probably gonna be like, "Yeah, we're not editing shit today."
You're starting phase 1 though. We're gonna be in California.
Yeah,
How's that gonna go?
it's gonna
Think
go.
it's gonna go good.
It's gonna go great. Yeah,
Man,
we're gonna
that'd be
play some
tough for me.
beach volleyball. What?
To like do
Work
it while
out.
traveling. Yeah.
Well, but there's also like mountains and shit that we can
That's
like
true.
that we can go hiking. Bobby and I are going to play in a volleyball tournament all day one day, so it's like it
Is
won't be that
is
difficult.
that a workout?
Yes,
Okay.
like an all day. It's one.
It
It's
is.
not like
So
doesn't
then you
count
still
as
gotta
two.
Pound another one out.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's pounding one out.
That would.
45 minutes.
You
of
seen the girls in
pounding
California?
it out.
I mean, yeah.
Katy Perry wrote a song about him.
They're
Sing it.
unforgettable.
I don't know the words.
Is that about the cherry chapstick?
There's a lot of California songs.
It's called California Girls.
There you go.
That's about it. All right.
Good story.
Well, those are some good. Those are some good. I know
That's all I
that
got.
we had some.
I'm pretty dry from the dry heat.
Yeah, it's still there.
Any other topics we want to touch on?
We could talk about the NFL teams. Not all of them. What is it? The Raiders and the Saints. Both requiring vaccine cards or a negative test.
And it's hurting, right?
Yes. And I saw LSU is the first college to actually require it too to come to a game.
So my girlfriend, her brother has LSU season tickets.
Oh,
He's
wow.
literally going to be in LA while we're out there at the Rose Bowl when they play UCLA. So he's pissed off about that because he won't get vaccinated. And then she has Saints season tickets with her brother as well. And I think I mentioned this to you guys one time. I can't remember if we were recording or not, but the name of their Sam Page is LaToya something, and they call her LaToya the Destroyer. and now that in New Orleans, so I was just there this past weekend, and if you want to dine in somewhere, you have to show them your Vax card.
Oh man.
So like you
crazy.
can't even dine in somewhere, and it's more humid than it is here. They don't have a dry heat like we do here in Missouri.
I want to know how do they check these Vax cards?
They don't even give a shit.
Because-
they're not IDing you or anything
I mean,
like
because
that.
I have the PDF. I can make us all fake Vax cards.
Until I'm good on mine, but if you want to make me a fake one and I feel like a badass, I'll use
I just
want to
know how they how do they check it? Like, what do they? You know what I mean?
Is
there a
don't
number
Call
on
the
it?
doctor?
No,
Yeah, like, what do
they don't even ID you. So they're now starting to require it at these concerts where it's either like 48 or 72 hour negative test, or you have to have your Vax card. And I was just at these shows in Indiana, and we were talking to people in line about how they went to a show somewhere that's requiring that. It was an East Coast show, and they said that they like half of them were checked, half of them were not. They're not IDing anyone. Like that's the only way if they were trying to like try to actually see if it could work, but like people are going to get around it. It's not going to be until the point of an airline requires it where it's like something government related that there will actually be being really strict, and then that's
what's
when they're going to
so-
lose a fuck ton of people.
What's so funny about it is the White House vaccines aren't mandated. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, none of those companies require a vaccine. Yet, if I want to go watch a fucking football team play, I got to have a vaccine. Fuck you, assholes.
Yeah, I don't care what side you're on. That's a little sus.
It's weird.
I think
Super
forcing
sus.
people to do something is one thing where, like, if you decide to do that, that's fine. I don't care. But to force somebody to do something, like put something in your body, like it's a fucking
rape.
problem.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Rape. Wow, it's aggressive.
Putting something in your body. I was just going off of Dan.
Yeah. Okay.
bread turns up.
Yep. Yep.
Fuck that chick. You're
We
gonna
probably
fuck her?
shouldn't clip that one and put it on a reel.
Anything politically driven?
Let's go.
Brad's getting amped the fuck up.
I'm like super nervous to go to California just because of it.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea.
Like
I
what
mean,
they're
if you keep
Yeah.
to yourself, you'll be fine.
Like, that's why I'm making a fake vax card. Because, like, what if we go out to dinner and, like, they're like, oh, hey, where's your fucking vaccine card? And I'm like, hey, I'm not vaccinated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see ya, boys.
Are you gonna give him that one that on the back has the middle finger on it? Like
I'll
here's
bring one
my
of those out there. I'll give that to Bedros.
yeah.
He's
Like
He
the one
likes
you
that
made
guy.
for DJ and
Yeah.
did you make one for Andy too, or just DJ?
Nah,
since
fuck
we
that
don't,
guy.
since we don't like Andy for selling anymore,
until you're in his pool next summer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you can be buddies again.
We got some growth.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, let's jump into the topic. We're talking about health versus wealth. So I think the big things we want to cover here is the overall importance of health, fitness, and nutrition. And then is there a correlation between health and success in your business? And then on the flip side, is there a point of diminishing returns, right? Are there people that are spending way too much time focused on that aspect to where it's hurting the potential gains they could have in their business? So I guess let's just kind of go around the table. How would you guys define overall physical health?
Oh, you going to ask the fat guys first? Me or Dan?
I'm trying to formulate a definition here.
So I can start then.
That you'd probably be the better choice for this one.
I think it's overall physical health is subjective, but I think you can't really define it until you've been to a point where you're not healthy and tried to work, and a point where you are a little bit more healthy and tried to work. Because although I've never been like fat or obese, I've definitely had times where I've like eaten like shit for certain periods of time and been in a lot worse shape, and could tell energy levels depleted a lot easier, or I don't want to work as long. But yeah, I guess again, it's a very subjective definition, but I guess it's just more about how you feel. And
So if I like to work at 25% plus body fat, and I like to work a lot, then if I got down to you, I'd work 24 hours a day.
so in theory,
Right?
yeah.
Wow.
You could make so many more millions.
Wow.
You could have so many more boats.
I think the way I look at it is the clarity that you'd get like while working. I think you'd think a little bit clearer. Not
So-
saying you don't think clear.
and
Yeah.
there's
So
so
if
many.
but if you're a guy that's off like, operates like 25% body fat, and you just get fueled off like bacon and like
Yeah.
wings, like, so
With
if,
ranch.
yeah,
Actually,
what if that's what your
wings.
body
There's zero carbs in wings that are not breaded, that are fried.
Boom. So does that make it healthy?
Dan's got all the cheats.
I don't know.
Healthier.
Does it?
I am a life
Hey,
hack.
Sure.
A movement in the right way.
It's
is
a
still
myth
movement.
that carbs aren't healthy.
Well, I
I've
think
been eating a lot of carbs.
I think it depends on the type of carb, but
Yeah.
Well, I think that there's a lot of different kinds of health, like Dan, you were talking about, and I know that you probably, you even threw something out to our group text recently, and from Bedros' book that I'm sure you're going to mention at some point. So I'll save that one for
actually
you.
I forgot.
But that'd be a good one to bring up because
Go
there's
through the text.
there's different kinds of health, right? Physical health, mental health, emotional health, financial health. Like, you can subcategorize that in any way that you want. But I think that if someone, like, I've been at a point where I was incredibly unhealthy, and I was 260 pounds over a little bit over a year ago. Like June 23rd of 2020 is when I started my weight loss journey, and I was up to 260, and I literally pulled up a memory today. So today is August 25th. So 2 months and 2 days after that, I was down from 260 to 208. 52 days, and that's almost, I mean, a little bit less than a pound a day. So that definitely was a huge difference maker for me. So from a physical standpoint, like I knew I needed to make a change, but it also gave me a ton of mental clarity, and I was able to start working on being a little bit more emotionally healthy. And it's not even until like the last few months that I've tried to be more financially healthy. Mm-hmm. So I think you can parlay that into a lot of other things, but I think just because someone doesn't appear to be physically fit mean that they're not healthy to an extent. So,
well, I don't think there's anybody out there that's like, dude, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and be fucking so unhealthy. I'm going to pound zebra cakes and, everything I can, just drink 35 Mountain Dews. Like, I do think that there's people that do that, but I don't think they do it. I mean, it's just like habits that they've built up. And so, when I look at being healthy, it's, hey, can I go on a walk with my kids and fucking go up a hill? Can I keep up with them? Can I basically contribute at work? Can I live my life without feeling like, holy fuck, I can't do that because of physical limitations that, eating unhealthy or all these different things have caused. So
I think that's a good way to put it, right? Because I think everybody's got different levels, just like financial, whatever, like you were talking about, Bobby. And it's like, if it's affecting you, in any way, shape, or form in your life and your family, then maybe it's time to take a look at it. But like for me, it's like I know I want to be, and this has nothing to do with like the business side, but I know I want to be able to do sports and athletics and all that shit for as long as I can. I want to be able to compete for as long as I possibly can. And I also, now that I'm competing in certain things, I want to be in the best shape of my life. Like one thing I actually have is like, I'm 33 and I'm in the best shape of my life. So like I've progressively gotten in better shape since about the age of 24. Because before 24, I was like a skinny fat kid and never worked out and never really gave a fuck about.
Skinny fat kid.
I was a skinny fat. Oh, for sure. I was a skinny fat kid.
I know some skinny fat kids.
Yep. No muscle whatsoever. Had myself a nice little beer gut.
Yeah.
Ate like fucking dog shit. And yeah, was not very decently like coordinated, but I wouldn't call myself an athlete at all.
I think so. One thing I want to contribute to this is like, I do think that there's no excuse to like eat unhealthy, right? Like it doesn't take, for me, working out isn't a priority, and you guys all work out, but for me, it's just never been a priority. A, I don't like to do it. B, I want to put my focus on other things. So it's like workout life balance, right? Yeah. Like what is my life balance? Is it working out or is it, focusing on my business, focusing on my family, and working out probably is, I think about it, but I don't do it because the time that I could spend doing that, I'd rather spend doing something else. And that's just a priority thing.
Yeah.
So that's,
I mean, mine's the same way. It's like, for the last 3 months now, I've been working out pretty hard actually. But like I told Matt, like he helped me out with my macros, and dude, like it's a fucking full-time job to like track your food that you're eating, do your fucking workout, and then go to work.
Yeah. Well,
it's like, by the morning, I get up at 5, go work out. 6 o'clock, we're wrapping up the workout almost, and it's like, fuck, dude, like I already did all this today. But at the same time, when I do accomplish that, it's done. Like I've got my workout in for the day. I'm not doing 2 like Matt is, but,
well, it's a mental win, right?
Yeah,
like, so what are those mental wins? Does it have to be working out? Does it, you know what I mean?
And
like
I think that can apply for anybody. But
yeah.
I have noticed since I have been working out that when I get to work, I'm like already on. Like, how like sometimes you get to work and it's like, like you kind of got to wind up. Like I'm already there.
So I feel that same way. Like if I clean my car, like if I just little things, like I accomplished something non-work related that was admin or something in my life that I know needs to be done. I completed that. Then I went to work. I always feel a little like I already accomplished something during the day. You already checked a box. And sometimes with anything in life, the hardest part is checking that first box of the day so you can get down the rest of your to-do list. And that's one of them, So
yeah. And with that, it's like, I think it's just like the early morning mental fog, right? Like when you start, like if you go straight into work, you can feel like that. But probably to your point, right? If you do something mostly somewhat physically active, right? Whether it's cleaning or something or an actual workout, you're going to feel better. I know for a fact, here's kind of two sides of the coin. I know for a fact when I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to like train in the mornings, it's like when I get into work, I feel amazing.
Yeah.
Now, the consistency around my sleep is the big factor on how I feel towards the end of the day. Because if I don't get enough sleep and I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I still feel great in the morning, but by like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like fucking drained and I'm ready for the day to be over. So sometimes I can find myself having less energy by doing that. But again, I think that kind of goes around sleep.
Well, I think the success part comes in because of the other effects that working out and eating healthy has on your brain. Like you naturally have more confidence, and that bleeds into every other area of your life. And you have more energy, like you said, that bleeds into other areas of your life. So don't get me wrong, I would love to be in better shape physically. But it's not that I'm not active. I just played, which is interesting. I just played hockey on Sunday, and I skated the whole time. The other team had to forfeit, so we had the rink, and we played. And these guys play every single Sunday, and I skated the whole time. And half of them who are in better shape, if you look at them physically, they were like fucking. They couldn't even get through the whole 45 minutes skate, and they're technically skinnier than me, but they probably eat a lot worse than I do, and they probably have higher metabolisms than I do. But I stay active, and I didn't, so I'm sitting there skating around all these guys that look like they're in better shape. And, but yeah, I do.
They weren't doing flips off the
I want to
diving
look
board.
better. Right. Exactly. I can do a fucking flip off a diving board. I don't know if anybody else here could do one. Maybe Bobby, but.
Why does he think we can't do a flip?
I can do a front flip. Like easily, I do a front flip off a diving board.
And
Off a diving board, I'll do a front flip without a
Dan
diving
is the
board.
only person in Dry Heat, Missouri that can do a front flip off a diving board, all right?
Backflip, I'd probably
could do
fail
a
a bunch of
backflip
times,
too.
but eventually it would take me time, but I could get there.
I'd be worried about hitting my head.
Yeah.
Same.
Have you seen death diving, by the way?
No, what is that?
They just jump off the highest diving board and just twirl their body around and land on their side.
That's terrifying. No thanks.
So
what do you look? I really want to see your search history.
It's this
Dan like wakes up at
parkour.
2:30 in the morning. He's like, death diving. I wonder if that's a thing.
But that is true. I mean, I consider myself what's called a Fatlete. Okay, a fat athlete. I've actually started thinking about a business idea about this. If anybody else wants to launch this, I would love it because I would win everything.
Idea.
Which is you have to have over a certain percentage body fat to compete in the games. And if you do, then it's like the Olympics for
We could have it on
fathletes.
ESPN Ocho.
So it's not just eating contests anymore. It's like and then you can also brand some sort of gear around it. Like whenever I was shopping around with Shelby over the weekend, there's a place. It's called like Athleta, I think is
Athleta.
like it's something like that.
Yeah. It's like Lululemon.
So we just need
But it's so
Fatlete.
every single mannequin in there, like almost every single one was a plus size woman.
That's because they're
mannequin.
catering to those thick
And
wives.
but here's the thing is like
Down in-
I have never seen
Down in
a
Nolans.
I've never seen a guy fatter mannequin, or sorry, plus size mannequin. Let's be politically correct here. And maybe there's an opportunity there for not only, hey, are you going to have these competitions with 25% body fat
I was thinking just clothing.
people? But yeah, that's where I thought he was
Whatever,
going. But
anything.
I mean, I'd love to see the competitions as well. I think that'd be great.
Decathlons.
I would.
I mean, can we
Sounds
watch a
hot, man.
doubles tournament with two guys that are 30% body fat?
That's why
playing
pickleball
against
was
each other, because
created, right?
that would be
Fat guys.
awesome to watch.
No, pickleball is
possible.
actually
It'd
very
be
fun.
sweet.
No, I know, but you don't have to run as far as tennis.
And I will say, like, body positivity, I fucking hate it. Like, you're fat.
So thank you, and actually thank you for bringing that up. Go ahead.
And by the way, like, I make jokes all the time, like, yeah, I'm fat, whatever. I don't know if I'm necessarily like super fat compared to like other people, but
You
I
can
make
still see your dick,
I make
right?
the joke. Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
so you're good.
as long as she can see it, I don't care if I can see it. No, but I mean, seriously, at the end of the day, the body positivity is letting you accept that you've made poor choices with your eating habits and whatnot, unless you have like a disability,
Thyroid
something like,
problems.
yeah, I
Yeah.
get that, right? But I've made bad choices. In my 20s, I was smashing fucking Twinkies and Tostitos party pizzas because they fit in the fucking microwave and they were $1 each.
Dollar piece, baby.
And they're fucking awesome.
And they just so happen to fit right in your mouth.
I would pound a whole fucking Tostitos party pizza.
So that's actually a really good point. And I'm glad you brought that up. And I think it's obviously like, you don't want to like belittle someone or make them feel like a piece of shit. But like in terms of something that is not good for your overall health, it's like telling people that's okay, I'm not a fan of, and I'm completely against it. And this is obviously has nothing to do with, it has something to do with it, but it just popped into my head. Like I'm playing volleyball the other day, and I go up and I hit a ball and it goes out of bounds. And my partner goes, "Oh, good hit, buddy." And I'm like,
the fuck you talking about?
And he has a tendency to do that no matter what, just be like, "Oh, good this, good that, good that." And I'm like, do not fucking tell me I'm doing good when I know I'm not. Like I just waffled it and I sailed that the fuck out of bounds. Like, don't tell me that's good.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that's good. Like be direct with me. I take that way better. You know, even like if you're kind of an asshole about it, like I'm good with that. But in that or like your body fat percentage or like whatever it is in life at work, it's like, don't tell somebody they're doing something good when they're not doing good.
Yeah,
like be honest with somebody. Because in the long run, that's just going to hurt them.
Don't
It's
tell
the
somebody you
participation
might,
trophy
Yes.
mindset.
that you might rent their building when you won't.
Yeah.
Did you guys do
Yeah, I
that?
know Dan and I are checking out new places, and there's this sweet old Asian man that's showing us around this one place, and we're sitting there, and it's like got nothing that we need, right? It's older. There's no like stipend to like do any construction.
We didn't have any breakout rooms.
Yeah, and it's just like we know we're not going to do there, so I'm sitting there on my phone. And
Or he's
I'm like,
watching
next
TikToks,
stop.
like you could hear him in the background.
well, and I'm sitting there, and Dan's like, "Matt, you're being really rude." I'm like, "Sorry, what do you want me to do?" And he's like, "Yeah, so Dan's like, I think we're 50-50 right now. So, but we should know by the end of the week, and I think we're going to get back to you. By the way, you won't get back to that guy." Like,
I forgot to take a picture of his phone number.
Oh, damn. That's fucking funny.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I agree. It's like, I mean, I'm not saying you should go around and tell people their business, but like be honest with people about their circumstance, especially if they're in a spot where if they continue to go down that road, it's going to be more and more of a detriment.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, the whole point of like what I wanted to bring up today is really about, you know, there's a guy leaving the gym right now as we speak, driving a fucking Chevy Cavalier from 1999 who is a beast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like physically. But then there's also fucking Steve Wozniak who's fat as fuck and he's the co-founder of Apple, you know? And so maybe, you know, maybe those are like one-offs, but I don't think so.
No.
I think that there's plenty of people who are successful in business or in their careers or whatnot because they put so much focus in it that it was a detriment to their health, right? But then there's so many people that put their health as the top one, and it's a detriment to your point at the beginning of this pod or beginning of this topic, that's a detriment to your career, you know? And so that's where I don't think it's fair to say, hey, being healthy is directly correlated to success.
I agree. And I also like Andy Frisella. I mean, the dude, like, let's be real.
And he's been on a tear with saying, like, I think everybody should be healthier, you know, because he's healthier now.
Yeah. And I think it's a little wrong of him to do that. I mean, like, yeah, he shows a picture of when he was fat as fuck and what he looks like now, but like, he also doesn't show his fucking bank account then versus when he started to get healthy. Like, let's be real. Like, he was sitting pretty good financially before he made the decision to like, oh, I should start working out because he had people in place to start doing things that he could be freed up for 2 hours a day in his world-class gym that shut down for him and his security guard to work out in.
Yeah. I will agree with that, but also you look at guys like a lot of the circle that we follow. You look at guys like Bedros. Bedros was always fit, but again, kind of came up through the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Ed Milet too. So yeah, I definitely, I think there's a lot of times correlation, right? Because it's like any good habits that you can build and become like really good at can have the ripple effect and spill out into other ways, but definitely not causation, right? Like it's not just get your body right first and then all of a sudden the success comes. Cause like Dan, like you said, like there's a ton of people that are gym rats out there that is like all they fucking care about is the workout scene. And then there's no other areas that you can really see success in.
And that's fine because that's what makes them happy, right? Like, so defining success is up to the individual. And if success means I'm going to be in the best physical shape of my life, that's fine. But we fucking talked about work-life balance. And if that is what you define success as, then there's going to be other things that fall off, such as your career. Same with, you know, business, right? Like if you prioritize just being like in the best, you know, shape of your life without having your systems in place to have the time to fucking do that, then you're not going to reach the pinnacle that you could be in business. But I do think that there's a lot of people in business who are in good shape. The majority of them seem, especially influencer wise, seem to be in good shape. So, it's a tough one. I just don't think that there's a super direct correlation to the two, but I do think that there are positive benefits of, the workouts and the eating healthy into all the other areas of your life. So,
yep.
I agree. I think that it comes down to being intentional with it as well. Like I am an example of someone who focused only on my health for a good portion of last year, and I did get into great shape. I had to get out of bad shape, and then after that, it's been like, all right, cool. I've put so much attention on my health. I need to pour it into work, and then it was trying to find a balance, and then it was like I was doing nothing but working. And then it was like, all right, now I'm starting to lose myself on the fitness side, and then trying to find a good balance. A lot of it goes back to the 4 burners theory, too. That I know that I wasn't on that episode, but you guys talked about it a little bit, where you can only be good at 2 things at a time, whether it's your health, your career, friendships, and your family. Which 2 of those are you going to choose to be really, really strong with right now? And right now, career and health are burning brightest for me.
Yeah. Yeah, again, we always go back to that. I don't necessarily know if it's 2, but the concept 100% I agree with, right? The more time and dedication you put into certain areas of your life, the more it's going to take off and the bigger that flame is going to be. And I've seen that with you, right? Like I saw the fitness fall off because it's like I'd ask you to play doubles in the mornings and shit, and I would get
this is my call out.
I would get the let me get back to you, and then in hopes of just me finding someone else and just forgetting about it. And then I just took Bobby off the group text because I was like, he's out. But I was like, and people were like, where's Bobby? And I'm like, did Bobby kind of give up on it or yada yada yada? It's like, it's not important to him right now. Like I'd love him to be there, and I kind of bitch at him because he's not there as much, but it's like I know he's 100% focused on work, and that's all his time is consuming. So it's like we always talk about, it's setting those priorities and then actually making them a priority and putting the time into it.
I think that's such a difficult problem to solve. Like for me, it's golf instead of working out, right? Like that's what I love to do. I want to be the best golfer, whatever that I can be. I don't want to be like fucking best golfer in the world, but
why not?
What's your
I would
goal?
like to.
What's your goal in St.
I would
Louis?
like to be number 1 amateur golfer in St. Louis.
Please cut that clip.
Right now, I just
New guy. Sorry, I'm fucking
I think I'm top 40 right now.
Paul Wall, the
But
Iceman.
anyways, whatever.
Top 30?
But 40.
40?
Probably top 40, yeah. But anyways, regardless, what I would say is like whenever work gets busy, I feel like, I don't have time to put into that. And then whenever I really focus on golf, then I feel like guilty for abandoning like some things in business or, and so that's such a fucking hard thing to do. And because probably whenever you were racing, it's like you focus on racing or focus on business. For you guys, it's volleyball or business sometimes,
Yeah.
I know you've ran into that, health versus business. You know what I mean? And I know you guys have run into that. And so I think everybody probably goes through situations where it's like, fuck, I really love this thing, but it doesn't help me financially or, it doesn't really do anything for me other than I really fucking love it. And I want to be the best at it, and it's competitive, and I like that arena, I like that environment. But it is important to have those things because I think you have to get your mind off of the other thing. But at what point do you, is it a detriment, right?
Yeah.
Because I definitely think it can be. I think volleyball can be. I think working out can be. I think racing can be. I think golf can be, And so that's where it's like, what is the priority, And I think that if you look at guys like Elon Musk or any of them, they don't fucking do anything but fucking work.
That's kind of boring though too, right?
But they must really, really fucking love it. Like
that's what
love
they get
it
off to.
like no other.
It becomes addictive.
It'd be interesting to know like what is their hobby outside of work, or does it all come back to business?
I think Jeff Bezos liked to send dick pics.
He loves that.
I think Zuckerberg fucking likes putting on sunscreen and getting on a surfboard.
Yeah. We should do, did you have something on that?
No.
I was going to say, looking at this, we should do a podcast. Have we done one on saying no?
We have.
I think we have, yeah.
Saying
Okay.
yes to saying no.
Saying yes, that's it. I forgot about that because that's ultimately what we're getting at here. It's like I've got a fantasy football draft tonight, and I used to be so into this shit, And it's just like, because I like a
Now we
social
go
environment.
For the
on
record,
fantasy
for any of
football
his
drafts.
friends listening, he is buying information off of a worker at work.
Are you really?
Paul, cut that shit. So I didn't buy anything. Somebody in our office
Paul,
bought
don't
it.
cut that.
Bought the like basically like a cheat sheet of like what you should do, where to grab people.
If this person takes him, you
and
take
yeah, because like you go back 2 years ago, I'm fucking hours of podcasts. Like there's no self-development. It's hours of podcasts prepping for this moment of this draft. And
at
it's like
Buffalo Wild Wings.
And now I'm to the point where I'm like, I don't really fucking want to go to this because I know I'm going to be out of the office Friday and half the day tomorrow. And it's just like, but it's one of those things that I've kind of turned off. And I'm just like, fine, I'm going to suck at this. And I'm probably going to have to wear a dress at some point.
I was about to ask, what's the punishment for the loser, the
You got
sacco?
the next draft, you have to serve everybody. Like we'll go to a restaurant and we have a server, but like they get all the tips. The server gets all the tips, but they have to do none of the work.
That's awesome.
That's
Like you have to get
amazing.
everybody's drinks, everybody's foods, and you got to
You
wear
should've-
something stupid.
Where are you
Yeah.
going to be this year?
Are you in it with Jason Keller?
Yeah.
I saw
Keller's-
his on Instagram was like he had to like cook a meal on Instagram Live every week or something.
Once a month, he had to put on an Instagram a how-to, a Facebook Live on how to do something. It lasted at least 2 minutes, and then word on the street, he lost twice, maybe 3 times actually. It's called the harpening, and we're renting a harp, and we're going to be outside of Busch Stadium, and he has to play this harp in front of everybody for like 2 hours before the game.
That's amazing.
And then
Does
we're
he
going to
get
put like a
tips?
little change bucket.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're going to
okay.
put a change bucket out there.
Like that's the content we need to be creating.
I like that. Shit.
Yeah.
But
So just if you see Jason Keller on the streets, tell him he's a bitch
I'll
and
give
he
him
did not
$100
complete his fucking punishments for these leagues.
That's funny.
That's awesome. But
Yeah.
I mean, looping that back to our episode saying yes to saying no, like I think that if I remember correctly, it's more saying no to other people asking you to do things, where I think the internal battle of saying no to yourself and building that discipline is the fucking hard one.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I put down for what's the hardest thing for my fitness journey was time management. It's like
I had a chance
it's just
today
hard.
to fucking go play Belle Reve, and I said no.
Oh, no.
You know,
That's
so
sad.
for me, Belle Reve, for anybody listening outside of St. Louis, that's where they hold the PGA Championship. It's top 2 private clubs in St. Louis, probably. And I've never played it, but I said no today because I have fucking work,
You
and
had
that
to
was
go
more
meet
important.
that Asian guy. That
And I
you
also
dissed
told
on.
myself that Sunday was the last tournament day of the year, and that was it. So golf season was over, and so mentally that was my checkout day. Now it's all back to fucking making
go.
money.
Golf season's over, technically? No more tournaments?
Tournament season's pretty much over. I mean, there's a couple, but I'm not going to practice for those.
Belle
I'll
Reve
fucking
was
win
my
those
first
easily.
my first job ever at 15 years old as a caddy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Belle Reve is, that's an amazing course.
So
I've heard. Probably a good stopping point. We strayed away from the topic of health. Like we said, I think it all comes down
mission
to
accomplished.
right.
Focus on your business.
Dan-
God, dude, I was trying to manipulate this whole fucking
Dan, you
podcast.
fucking mental ninja. God damn it.
Man, his mental
What were we
health
talking
levels.
about? What's the topic?
Dan's
yeah.
like half the topic is wealth.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
But no, pretty good. Probably a quicker one. But that's all we have for today. So we will, I guess, see y'all next week.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Deuces.